Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Art of Kicking Ass Elegantly TV, which is all about learning to kick ass elegantly in business, in fitness, in love, and in life. Yes, I do believe we could have it all so long as we have the right plan and the right support. I'm your host, Michelle Hext. I've just taken 3 full days off social media, and this is the driving force behind my business, and 3 whole days off and nobody died. I'm going to share with you what happened on the other side of 3 days away from Facebook. So as I just said, Facebook is really the driving force behind my business. It's made me a lot of money. It's where I connect with people, as well as being my business life. It's where I get to hang out with my friends too. And I have to say that over the last couple of months, I've let it creep up a little bit and my use has been way up. And, I kind of got to this feeling where I felt like I was missing out on something if I wasn't on there. And my partner went away for 3 days over the long weekend and went and did boy stuff, fishing, camping, that sort of stuff. And so I had 3 days of just me, and I had to think about it, and I thought, what do I want to do over the next 3 days that's going to really give me a sense of feeling like I've had a break? And, I knew it's not difficult for me not to work when I have days off, but it is difficult, or has been difficult recently, for me to stay off social media. And it wasn't something I'd planned. I just kind of woke up in the morning on the Saturday morning and checked in on Facebook and thought, I don't think I need this over the next few days. And so I just took a total break and it felt amazing. So the things that I noticed were, when I look back, I can see I probably had some low level, I don't know that I'd call it anxiety, but whenever I wasn't checking in, I felt like I was missing out on something, or I felt like, I might have missed something, or somebody needed me, or something like that. And it felt like I was never totally off. And I'd reached a point a little while back where I managed it really, really well. I'd get on in the morning and then I wouldn't get on again till later in the afternoon, and then I'd log off. But I was finding myself even at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night on my phone, checking when I had a spare minute. And it became too much, it just became too much. And so stepping away from it for 3 days, I've come back, I checked, there was like 80 messages, all sorts of stuff on there, but nothing was urgent, and nobody died. And it did not make an ounce of difference whether I was on there for those 3 days or whether I wasn't. And so what I'm really conscious of now is keeping this feeling of bliss and feeling really relaxed, which is what I am. And so now I'll be, checking in. I have my groups and things like that. So I'll be checking in the morning, and then, I'm going to try and minimize it as much as I can, just because I feel so much more relaxed. I feel as though I'm not having to always dive back into something. I feel as though I've got much more space and time ahead of me, and it's been amazing. So if you're finding yourself becoming too attached to your Facebook and too caught up in making sure you're responding to people quickly and all that sort of stuff, just maybe it's a good idea for you to step away too and just bring it back into balance. I feel like the balance is back for me, and I'm really loving this sense of peace, as I say. So you'll see a lot less of me. I'm going to be around, obviously, but I just need to really manage that time so that when I'm away from my desk and I'm away from the work that I'm doing, I actually feel like I'm away from it. Because right now, because my business is so heavily tied into Facebook, whenever I log on, there's always a business something that needs to be dealt with. And it just means that I'm never really off. And I pride myself on the elegant hustle and having time away from my work and all the rest of it. And what I came to see is that I was stepping away from my desk and I was away from work and not taking on projects and stuff like that, but I was tied to social media. And it has its place. It's amazing. It's built my business. I have no plan on going away, but I am going to manage it a lot better so that I'm not tied to it and I don't feel like, I'm missing out on something if I'm not logged on every minute of every day. Anyway, I hope that helps. If you need to take a break and step away from it, I really encourage you to do that too. I'm hoping you'll feel what I feel, which is just an overwhelming sense of peace and relaxation, and as though I've got the balance back. I had balance in every other area of my life, and I didn't have it there. And to have it back feels like I have my life back. which sounds kind of crazy. It kind of sounds like I'd given my life over to it. And I guess if I'm honest, that's how it felt. You know, it did feel like I was on it every minute of every day, and it's just not productive. You know, you can always find a reason to be on there. You can always give yourself a really valid reason to be on there if that's what you want to do. But I guess when you look at, what it's costing you, you've got to weigh that up. And just quickly, I stayed offline actually. So I wrote in my journal and I did, online courses and things like that. But typically if I was looking at anything, researching anything, and there was a Facebook page, I'd click straight on that because that's where I go immediately. I want social proof and all that sort of stuff. And I even stopped myself from doing all of that because I know that takes me down the rabbit hole. And yeah, it felt amazing. It was a lot better way to do things. I read a lot. I caught up on some learning, and I just, felt really at peace. And it was a bit overdue. Anyway, I hope you got something from that. As I say, if you need to take a break, do it. I highly recommend it. I promise you, no one's going to die, and you'll feel much better for it. Bye.